Welcome to the Big 12 SEC Challenge presented by Sonic at ESPN. And welcome to a terrific atmosphere here at the Ferrell Center in Waco as Baylor plays host to Georgia in the next game of the challenge. It has been tight so far. Right now, Texas Tech and Arkansas are going right down to the wire, and we hope to have the same 6 wins clinch the challenge. Big 12 with a 1-game lead as things stand now. Bob Wischusen, Paul Biancardi, and Paul, all week we've been looking at our green room guys that could be in the green room on draft night. Baylor has one in Taurean Prince.
Bob, his versatility makes him special. He's a self-made player with a knack to score the basketball. A capable spot-up three-point shooter. And as a small forward, he can handle the basketball, go coast to coast, create for himself, or find his open teammate. Defensively, he's active, he's alert. He owns a 6'11" wingspan, and he uses that in the back line of the 1-3-1 matchup zone.
And one of the most interesting elements of today's game is how Mark Fox's team handles Taurean Prince and that zone. Going back to last season, Taurean Prince has been in double figures in 32 of Baylor's last 38 games. And you can see Chad Ford right now has him listed as the number 22 prospect in this year's draft. So we'll get a chance to see the veteran guards here of Georgia to start against this 1-3-1.
Very experienced guards in Frazier, Mann, and Gaines. They know how to make the extra pass and knock down the open shot.
Georgia has out-of-conference wins this season against Georgia Tech and Clemson, but losses to Chattanooga, Seton Hall, and K-State outside the SEC, and they are 4-4 in conference. So this would be a win that, if Mark Fox's team could get it, could vault them right up into the discussion for the back end of the NCAA tournament field. As right now, Joe Lunardi has them on the outside looking in, but if Yante Maten has a big afternoon, Mark Fox says he likes his team's chances.
Well, if you get it into Maten, you can get into the NCAA tournament, Georgia. I mean, he is a legitimate low-post scoring threat. Just a sophomore.
Prince for 3. Gathers couldn't keep it alive on the offensive glass. He averages 4.5 offensive rebounds per game. Tied with Tyler Roberson of Syracuse for most among major conference players.
He is the leading rebounder all time in the Big 12 offensively. 445.
Man tied up, gets some help from J.J. Frazier. Frazier with the shot clock winding down, having some troubles. Gets it back, tries an NBA 3. That grazes the front of the rim and ends up without Freeman.
That 1-3-1 zone, it's not a traditional zone, it's a matchup zone. Very difficult to play against.
Gathers in the post, comes up short. Looked like Maten may have gotten a piece.
Gathers doesn't have great lift. The 2 in that neon green, but he's powerful and he has girth. Georgia's going to have to get that ball inside against the zone. Bob, they're going to have to run some concepts against it.
Well, you mentioned the word concepts, and that was what Mark Fox was going over with his team today. But you can't run plays against this zone. You just kind of have a conceptual way of how you want to play offense, and you do the best you can just playing ball. That was what he said. Now from the corner, Gaines' shot is blocked. Down to 2 on the shot clock. And Gaines, with a second effort, did that ball hit the rim? The officials allow play to continue, and the putback is good. And Scott Drew is losing his mind on the Baylor sideline. Does not think that ball hit the rim, and that should have been a shot clock violation.
I looked at it quick. I don't think it touched the rim.
Lester Medford bounces one into Gathers.
And this is a 2-3 zone for Georgia.
And Gathers will go to the line. Let's go back to the other end and take a look at the block of the Gaines shot in the corner and whether or not his follow-up hit the rim.
Great block. Continues to go to the rim. I don't think that ball touched the rim at all. Backboard and off.
Even at the second look, looked like it should have been a shot clock violation. So Georgia gets a bucket they probably should not have had, and now Gathers at the line. Only shoots 63%. He averages a double-double. 7 on the season. but 5th most rebounds in Big 12 history, and the only player in the Big 12 averaging at least 12 points and at least 10 rebounds a game.
You know, from the high school ranks, he was the leading rebounder in the Nike EYBL Summer League. That was 24 games against elite competition. He came out on top. 12 rebounds a game.
There's a scout here today. But it's notable that scout doesn't scout basketball players. The Buffalo Bills have a scout here today looking at Rico Gathers.
Well, they should as a tight end. Those shoulders and hands are worth a lot of money.
James gets shut down on the baseline. Gives it up. Unable to hit was Maton. And the rebound is pulled down by Taurean Prince.
Georgia's not a deep team, so they're going to mix up some zone and man just to keep Baylor off balance. They cannot play man-to-man the whole game against this athletic, big Baylor team.
They leave Medford alone. He can't knock it down. Maton with a good wall off of Gathers underneath. So a good start for Georgia as we are approaching the under 16 break here in the first half. And every time they're able to get this game shortened against a team that can run like Baylor can, they look at that as a win. And Gaines able to finish on the backdoor cut. It's an early 5-point lead for the Dogs.
And that time Georgia looked opposite. They went with the diagonal skip. It's wide open. This zone has holes, but you have to move the ball quickly and you have to have player movement behind it.
The lob, Prince with the reverse. And that's Baylor's first field goal.
Baylor screened the back man of the zone. He was sleeping, and Prince can go up and get it. Easy. You see, now it looks like a 2-3 zone, but it morphs into your offense. It starts out in a 1-3-1, and whatever alignment you're in offensively, they take the same shape.
And Gathers is able to jump over the top and get the steal and runs the floor. And he is able to gather underneath, and he'll go to the line. When we come back, the Farrell Center is alive. It's the Big 12 SEC Challenge between Georgia and Baylor.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sonic. You can eat for $9.99 at Sonic all month long. And the all-new Audi Q7.
Georgia has the early 3-point lead, but they've got foul trouble to deal with as Yante Maton just picked up his second. Bob Wischusen, Paul Biancardi here at the Farrell Center. Now, Paul likes to prove that he's hip. Right? You like to prove you're like a millennial, I understand. So we're talking about our keys to the game. Keeping Maton out of foul trouble might be a key. But your keys to the game, you went emoji style.
For Georgia, they have to lock up the paint. The Bears are a big team inside with great athletes. They average 39 points a game in the paint. For Baylor, they must chase the Bulldogs off the 3-point line. Frazier, Gaines, and Mann. A dangerous trifecta of shooters.
I like lock the paint. That one, I enjoyed that one.
You got to lock
up
the paint. You like the emojis. I got to give props to my daughter, Alyssa Biancardi. 14 years old. She helped me pick out the emojis.
Well, Derek Ogbede is on for the first time. Speaking of locking up the paint, as Gathers knocks one down at the line to make it a 2-point game. How about the impact of Yante Maton picking up his second foul before we get to our first TV timeout? I mean, he might be done for the rest of the first half against this front line. For Baylor, how long can Mark Fox afford to go, keeping by far his most effective front court weapon on the bench?
Had the same trouble against LSU. Early foul trouble in the first half. Picked up 2 quick ones to start the second half. And Georgia stayed in that game with their guards. They made some runs against LSU, but this Baylor team, Bob, as you mentioned, they're athletic, they're strong, they're powerful, and they own the paint.
Ogbede can't finish, but he'll go to the line. A nice little shovel pass from Charles Mann in traffic set up Ogbede.
As long as the pace stays slow, Georgia stays in this game because they have an outstanding half-court defense. The Bulldogs 11th in the nation in field goal percentage defense. They got to keep this pace slow in this game 5-on-5. Can't allow runouts, home run plays, and get the crowd into it.
Ogbede missed the first month of the season with a shoulder injury, so he's still rounding back into form. But he's been solid off the bench for Georgia, averaging about 4.5 points and 5.5 rebounds in SEC play, but misses a pair at the line here after Jonathan Motley picked up his first foul.
And now the freshman has to control the paint for the Bulldogs. And the guards, Bob, have to rebound down. Man has good size. He's 6'5". Gaines is 6'3". They're going to have to come down from the perimeter to rebound.
A foul away from the ball. Kenny Paul Gino called for his first. It's a couple of freshmen up front. Mike Edwards is in for the Georgia Bulldogs as well. So between Ogbede and Edwards, that is not a lot of experience against what is a very experienced front line for Baylor. And slipping inside and scoring is TJ Maston. That's the first lead for the Bears.
It's time for Georgia to knock down a three-point shot.
Instead, they give up a steal. Motley is able to snag it along the sideline.
Now, Georgia's had some turnovers this year. They've been careless with the basketball.
And now the Dogs show a zone.
They just want to pack it in the Bulldogs and make Baylor shoot over the top.
Motley from the elbow, banks it in.
Baylor with a good attack. Looking short corner. You always want to get the ball to the middle of the zone.
J.J. Frazier headed back to the scorer's table, set to come back on for Georgia. Ogbede with the left hand. Rolls one over the front of the rim. A nice move from Derek Ogbede, the freshman from Atlanta.
Mark Fox worked on that today in shoot-around. Trying to get the duck in against the zone because he feels that zone is extended on top. That was a great look by the guards.
Prince floats one. Comes up short. Charles Mann ends up with the rebound for the Dogs. How big do you think this challenge is for the SEC? I mean, do you believe that the Big 12 is the best conference in college basketball, therefore the SEC has something to prove?
Without question, I think they're the strongest conference in America. Great look.
Mann allows the flyby and scores inside.
That's where they've scored against the zone. Put the guy behind the zone to run, and then with the dunk in. I think the Big 12 is the strongest. But I think the SEC has a lot of balance, but it's a golden opportunity, especially for Georgia today. On the road against the ranked opponent.
Yeah, this stands to help Georgia far more than Baylor, obviously. Baylor being the ranked team and being at home. But in the midst of your conference schedule to play a tough game like this, difficult for the coaches as well to prepare. As Kenny Paul Gino is now in some foul trouble as well as he picks up his second. Wholesale substitutions for Scott Drew. This is still in its infancy, the Big 12 SEC Challenge. This is only the third season that they have played this challenge, and Texas Tech and Arkansas right now are in overtime. If Arkansas wins that game, then all 6 home teams so far will have won.
And Scott Drew was telling us today, you know, this is about pride. You know, it's about their conference, the Big 12. Bragging rights. They're not playing a ranked opponent today, but they want to win this game, obviously. It helps their seeding in March.
The jump hook missed everything for Maston. Corralled by McClure. Wild shot. In, out, right back in again. The floater goes for King McClure.
But Bob, to your point, it's different preparation. You can't talk about your league standings today. You know, you can't talk about how you got to make a move in the league and where you sit. It's just like a non-conference game. It's just at an odd time of the year. But all eyes on the Big 12 and the SEC today.
Ogbede, yes, every field goal so far for Georgia has been in the paint.
How about the subtle little shot fake, throw it inside by Frazier. Gets the defense to bite and find the passing lane.
Gathers. That puts Baylor right back on top.
The points in the paint are probably high right now in this game. Nobody's shooting it from the outside, no reason to. they got to gap that zone and move the ball.
Frazier for three. There's a field goal from outside. J.J. Frazier, sixth best in the SEC at 41%. That one was from Steph Curry range.
And he can stretch out his zone. Next time the defender will probably fly at him. He'll shot fake. Then he's got to get into the teeth of that zone for the pull-up.
That's the first three of the game for either team. And it comes about 9 minutes in. Lindsey will drive. And he tries to roll it home, but the tip will go.
Just look at the bodies. Look at two in the line in green. Looks like an NFL defensive end, tight end Rico Gathers. And the guys from Georgia, they are freshmen and they look like freshmen. Well, Gathers kind of looked like that in high school, Bob.
Man hits a three. Back-to-back triples for Georgia. And they've got the three-point lead. Yes, when Rico Gathers came to report to Baylor for the first time, some of the football players were looking at him when he was in the athletic check-in line like, who is that guy? Of course, we're talking about number 2 in highlighter. And there he is posting up. Kicks it to the corner. McClure tries a three. That hit the side of the backboard, but it is going to be a 3-shot foul called against J.J. Frazier. So 3 free throws coming up for the Florida. Georgia with the lead based on the triples they're knocking down.
And this is what Georgia does. 41% from threes for the guards. First Frazier, then man. Georgia up 3.
Check what's trending so far in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. And what is trending for the SEC, a couple of very important wins for teams that were impressive today. Florida over number 9 West Virginia, and that game was lopsided all the way through. Texas A&M, well, they had a very difficult opponent come into College Station and took care of the Cyclones by 10. And we have a terrific matchup coming up at 7 over on ESPN. Kentucky and Kansas, the true clash of the Titans of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Pablo Shoes and Paul Biancardi watching Baylor, a ranked team, taking on Georgia. That's what's trending so far. But now we do have word that Arkansas won in overtime. So, Paul, good news for the SEC so far. A couple of impressive wins, holding their own. All the home teams have won. And right now, Georgia, midway through the first half, is going toe-to-toe with Baylor as well.
That Florida win was so impressive for the Gators. That's the best they've played all year. They got off to a slow start. They're coming on strong under Mike White. You know, new coach, just like Shaka Smart in Texas, coaching somebody else's team, basically. Billy Donovan left that team, and Rick Barnes left a great team. So it takes a while for the chemistry and the cohesiveness to come together.
And we're aware that many of you will have the clicker fired up right now on your couch at home. Back and forth between us and ESPN, because right now, number 1 is on the ropes, as well as Oklahoma is down by 10 at LSU. So if LSU wins that game, it would keep the trend of all the home teams winning. But that would be another win, 3rd of the day against a ranked team, 4 teams from the SEC in this challenge.
LSU's been playing a lot of small ball recently with Ben Simmons at the 5. They did it against Georgia. It was effective. They did it against Alabama. You can't double team Simmons at the 5 when they put 4 shooters around him. If they defend LSU, Bob, they could beat anybody in America because they have that much talent offensively. The question is, what type of team are they defensively? Are they committed or uncommitted?
Looks like Lester Medford called for the foul, trying to jump over the top of the screen. And that was with the shot clock winding down under 5. So that's a bad foul for Baylor outside the 3-point line as it resets the shot clock to 30. What would it say about LSU if they missed the NCAA tournament with what everyone considers is the consensus best player in America on their roster?
Well, the NIT would have the best player in college basketball in Ben Simmons. It would be shocking, in my opinion, because they have the talent. It's cohesiveness right now. When you watch them play, some days they're out of sync, and some days they look tremendous. I mean, everybody counting them out. They beat Vanderbilt in Kentucky.
Edwards with a floater, in and out, offensive foul. And Edwards slow to get up, as it was Taurean Prince that took the charge.
Edwards with the offensive foul. His first personal team foul is 6.
If LSU can hold on and beat Oklahoma, that would put them not just on the right side of the bubble, but well on the right side of the bubble, because right now It's a last four in categorization by Joe Lunardi for LSU. If you beat number one, you're not the last four in anymore.
If they beat Oklahoma, they're going to have to play their way out. I mean, they're going to have to lose games that they should lose.
Smooth drive by Taurean Prince.
And that's how you don't make the tournament. You lose games that you should win. If they lose to Oklahoma today, that's okay. But you can't lose to teams below you.
That three goes down for Kenny Gaines, the third triple in the first half for Georgia. And that puts the Dogs right back on top.
Kenny Gaines, 40% this year from distance. You got to really shade those shooters in that zone.
Prince from the corner. That's no good. Every field goal so far, as you saw, has come for Baylor in the paint. They have yet to hit a perimeter shot.
If I'm Scott Drew, I'm going to extend this zone. Right now they're in man-to-man. Because of the three-point shot of Georgia, that took Baylor right out of that 1-3-1 matchup. You got to stay close, and you got to stay connected to shooters.
Gaines tries another three. That's no good. Offensive rebound for Houston Kessler. Picked up his dribble in the corner, and now he needs some help. It's deflected, saved by Gathers. Right to Gaines. He draws the foul. Hacked by Ish Wainwright. So when we come back, Gaines at the free throw line, looking to extend a Georgia lead in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Let's go back to the bucket by Gathers, and Motley becomes the playmaker.
Yeah, drop-off pass. Once Gathers gets 2 hands on the basketball and 1 foot in the paint, it's going to be a finish, or he's going to create a foul.
Taurean Prince, by the way, called for the foul, his first.
The only chance to stop him, Bob, is putting a 7-footer with great length, and he'll just bowl him right under the basket. But length does bother Gathers. Unfortunately for Georgia, they don't have anybody on the floor with that kind of size.
Gaines, tough contested 3, way short. Counts out to Al Freeman.
I didn't like that shot. Too quick off the ball screen.
Freeman for 3. The long rebound, tapped by Prince. And a rolling and one is Motley. The Bears back on top.
Baylor lost their offensive rebound. They get 41% of their missed shots.
Frazier drives, blocked from behind. Terrific defense by Lester Medford. It's out of bounds, and it will stay with Georgia.
Bob, this Baylor team is so athletic, so quick, and so fast. They just shrink the floor on any dribble penetration. It's hard to get to the rim against the Bears.
Frazier for 3. Yes! J.J. Frazier. Another triple goes down for Georgia. They are now 4 for 8, shooting the 3 here in the first half, and they've got the lead back. All of this happening as well with Yante Maton on the bench. He picked up 2 fouls before we hit the first TV timeout.
Tell you what, the bigs of Georgia, they're setting some mean screens up there.
That was Medford. That won't go. Offensive rebound. Motley. That's blocked. Bede got a hand on it. Now a foul call. And it looks like that's going to go against Kessler. We've got an All Hoops Wednesday night on ESPN and ESPN2 with a twist. We'll call it the crossover. College announcers in the NBA. NBA guys back in college. Jeff Van Gundy with Dickie V at Notre Dame, Miami. And Jay Billis and Doug Collins doing Warriors Wizards Wednesday night. ESPN, ESPN2, the announcer crossover.
This guy at the foul line, Jonathan Motley, he may be the best NBA prospect on this roster. 6'9", with a 7'2" wingspan. Just a redshirt sophomore.
And he has improved. Last year as a redshirt freshman, averaged about 7.5 points and 4 rebounds per game. This year up to 11 rebounds, 11 points and 5.5 rebounds a game.
Baylor again, back to man-to-man. They're not comfortable in their zone. Georgia got to work the clock, get that hard ball screen. Come off ready to attack.
Man weaves his way to the bucket and draws a foul. Motley thought that he was vertical, but the officials say no. So the foul on Jonathan Motley, and that'll put Charles Mann at the line.
Nobody hedges on that ball screen. Charles Mann, 6'5". Strong gets into the lane, and Motley just not in position.
Now, you track so many of these players from the time that they're freshmen in high school. And Charles Mann is a young man that you had a chance to spend some time with during his developmental years. How about what he's become as a senior for Georgia and where he's come from?
I had a chance to coach him at the NBA Players Camp in July going into his freshman year in college. He needed strength. He got it. And he wasn't a very mature player at the time. And he has developed under Mark Fox, both mentally and physically, to be one of the best guards in the SEC.
And Mark Fox talked about Charles Mann the way that coaches talk about their favorite player.
He said
he's a
blank.
zero-issue kid.
And he said he's come a long way, and he has. Yeah, no issues, great kid.
Never misses a day, plays through all types of little nicks and bumps and bruises, and he can defend anyone. He'll go out and play the 5 if it's the best thing for the team. Rico Gathers. Missing inside, an offensive rebound. That pushback won't go for Meston. Gathers again. That's stripped away by Charles Mann. His pass somehow deflects and finds its way to Mike Edwards for the lay-in. I don't think that pass was intended for Edwards. It looked like it was deflected, and this is the largest Georgia lead up to 5.
Edwards just simply got that because he converted from defense to offense. Baylor looks a little lethargic. It's almost like they come out and expect it to win this game, Bob. You have to earn your win.
Gathers. Nice up and under move, but missed the bunny. And it goes out of bounds off Baylor. It goes back over to Georgia. Defense keys the offense for the Dogs.
Yeah, watch man. Great strip right there. Clean. The push. The eyes are up. Kessler. Great catch. One dribble right to the rim. And where's the transition defense? Nobody's stopping the ball. Nobody's protecting the paint. They're going to hear about it at halftime from Scott Drew. This is a good Georgia team. They play together. They like each other. They're experienced in the backcourt. They can make the extra pass, and they certainly can knock down the open shot. And they work real hard to get good shots on the offensive end.
Gaines goes away from the screen with the left hand, a little too strong. Somehow taps his own miss to Edwards for a fresh shot clock for the Dogs.
How about Edwards? He just falls into the ball. He looked up twice. Once he got a layup, just then he got an offensive rebound.
A reach-in called on King McClure. That's his first. Will step aside. A terrific first-half performance so far here in Waco by Georgia.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by USAA, proudly serving the military community and their families for more than 90 years.
For you. Plus, we'll look ahead to Kansas and Kentucky. Andy Katz will join me on why this one is so rare for UK. But for now, let's go back to Bob and Paul.
All right, Doug, thanks very much. Well, Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram, they probably top the list of green room guys, but freshmen not named Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram that you think, Paul, ought to be in the green room.
These guys were terrific in high school, Bob, with tremendous upside, and they're proving themselves right now in college basketball. And Henry Ellenson today had 32 points, 10 rebounds, and a huge win for Marquette against Butler. And one of the other guys on that screen I want to mention is Deontay Davis from Michigan State. Keep an eye on him. An outstanding shot blocker in the high school game. In fact, he owns the state of Michigan record for shot blocks. 199 in his senior year. I think all those guys are going green.
Frazier picks up his dribble, finds Gaines, the floater down the lane, a little too strong. DJ Maxton the rebound and a cheap foul. Picked up by Kenny Gaines. That's his first. Well, it's our NBA Sunday Showcase game on ABC, presented by BBVA. We've got an outstanding East-West matchup for you. Jimmy Buckets of the Bulls will take on Chris Paul and the Clippers at 3:30 Eastern. Trust us, that's when the game is. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 3 on Sunday. The game will stream live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Georgia with 18 fouls here in the first half, so they're over the limit. That results in Maston at the line. And Baylor, they're out of fouls to give. They've got 6. So both teams shoot free throws the rest of the way.
Georgia just running a ball screen continuity side to side. Trying to get the defense to break down and lay on a screen. Create an open shot.
Frazier. Nice pass. Set up the opportunity. And now heading back to the free throw line again is Mike Edwards. That foul on Maston, his first.
I love the patience by the Bulldogs. The ball is on the left side of the floor, comes back to the right. This time Baylor hard hedges. They get the roll. The rotation was slow for the Bears. This young freshman, just say little, he's not little, 6'9". Gets a chance.
And that one hit the backboard first. How about J.J. Frazier as well? 5 assists against only 1 turnover so far here in the first half.
When you think about most improved players in the nation, you have to think about Frazier. Certainly Jordan Woodard in Oklahoma.
Well, Frazier, they list him at 5'10". I think he's standing on the yellow pages to be listed at 5'10".
Tell you what, he's a leader. He was talking today, shoot around, telling the big guys where to go, what to do. A great extension of Mark Fox.
He's not highly recruited out of high school, but he's become a terrific point guard for Georgia. Bede with the rebound off the Medford miss. Again, all of this happening for Georgia with a 4-point lead with Yante Maten, who averages 16 and about 7.5 rebounds a game out of the game. Frazier straight away. No good.
Terrific sequence, though.
Medford tries to go in there. That's blocked out of bounds by Kenny Gaines.
The push by Baylor. Gaines. That's just hustle. That's just getting back on defense, trying to help your team. Always want to protect the paint first.
McClure off the inbound. Can't hit the three. On Bede. Way up in the air for the rebound.
And that was a great rebound. 2 hands. That was a man's rebound.
Is there any reason to bring Maten with 2 fouls back into this game in the first half? Or if the score stays where it is, just leave him on the bench?
I think you can answer that one. Keep him on the bench. Keep him on the bench because you're working the ball on offense. You're using clock.
Edwards posts up as opposed to away, and he commits the foul. So Ishmael Wainwright will shoot a 1-and-1 at the other end after the turnover and the foul by Mike Edwards. That's his second.
You know, Baylor doesn't have very many runouts because Georgia doesn't have a lot of turnovers. If Baylor can get some quick runouts to get the crowd into it, they're not going to score easy against this Georgia defense.
How about this move? Here comes Yante Maten.
I was wrong. That's why I'm sitting over here.
Just under 2 minutes to go in the first half, and Mark Fox is going to try and see if maybe he can get away with one here and see if he can get 2 minutes out of Maten that he might not have gotten without picking up that third foul. Is part of that, too, trying to get a player back in the game so he gets a little bit of run and maybe has some rhythm going into the second half? You know, if he goes out of the game 4 minutes in and then sits the rest of the first half, end all of halftime,
you get cold.
That's cold coming off the bench in the second half.
Yeah, the Bears don't have an exercise bike in the locker room for Georgia to keep them warm.
That's Maten with the rebound off the free throw miss.
But putting him in for offense is smart. He's just got to be careful that he doesn't get an offensive over the back or a charge or a moving screen.
Maten comes up way short, and Gathers is able to grab the rebound. Prince has the size advantage on man, throws up a wild shot.
I love the way Frazier just pulls it out. Good timeout by Mark Fox. Settle his team down, try to guarantee a good shot.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds and come right back. It's an All Hoops Wednesday night on ESPN and ESPN2. The twist, it's the crossover. College announcers jumping to the NBA. NBA guys back in college. Jeff Van Gundy pairs up with Dickie V for Notre Dame Miami. And Jay Billis and Doug Collins will call Warriors Wizards Wednesday night on ESPN and ESPN2. The announcer crossover.
Are they going to play 2-on-2? You know, is Mark Jackson and Jay Williams going to play against Fran Fraschilla?
If they do, I'd like some of that action. As Mann can't hit the three.
I'll take Jay Will and Mark Jackson against every pair there.
Baylor has missed 9 shots in a row. McClure tries to break the string. That's the first triple for Baylor. In fact, that's the first bucket they've made outside the paint. And it ties the game. Frazier leans in. He'll go to the line. Walled off, Gathers, drew the foul, and finished. J.J. Frazier.
The junior, maybe 5'10", navigates so well in ball screens. He sees the open pocket, the jump stop. He throws himself into the defender to take the bump. Great concentration to finish.
That's the first on Gathers. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 turnover in the first half for J.J. Frazier.
This guy had 35, J.J. Frazier, against Georgia Tech this year.
Only 1 assist so far in the first half for Lester Medford. He's number 7 in America in assists, averaging a little over 7 assists per game. And here, throws one into traffic and turns it over. Forced one on the double clutch to Gathers.
That defense for Georgia, they're not really big and really athletic, but they play great positional D.
And now the Dogs can hold for the first half's final shot. Frazier fouled by Wainwright. All the way out past the hash mark. That's the second on Wainwright. And that's team foul number 9 on Baylor. So that puts Frazier, who shoots 83%, 4th best in the SEC, on the line.
Frazier so clever. He gets a screen. He used a re-screen. He saw the defender was out of position, and he dribbles right into him to draw the foul.
Checking in from Georgia, number 4, Charles Mann.
Well, if you look all through the top 10 ranks in the SEC, you find J.J. Frazier. Points, assists, shooting the 3 at the free throw line. He's even 5th in the league in steals at 1.5 per game. So he is everywhere through every box score that Georgia has this season.
And Mark Fox told me today, when our guards can play well collectively, Gaines, Frazier, and Mann, we can be hard to beat.
Well, Frazier averages close to 5 rebounds per game, and he's not even 5'10".
For Georgia, number 0.
Jackson back in, replacing Frazier. This matches the largest lead for Georgia. Here's Medford. Down the lane. The finger roll is good. At the buzzer. So Baylor ends the first half with the bucket, but Georgia ends the first half with a 3-point lead. Good first half, as has been the case in most of the games today in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Georgia knocking down 4 threes. Baylor dominating in the paint. And as a result, we've got a 1-possession game. Now it's time for the Land Rover halftime report. Back to the studio. Doug Kazarian and Andy Katz. Doug?
All right, Bob, thank you very much. We'll get back out to Waco in a little bit. But right now, updating the game over on ESPN. Andy, it is a barn burner living up to the hype.
It is on. Ben Simmons versus Buddy Hield. LSU was in control early, but I stress early.
Buddy Hield to finish, the nation's second leading scorer, probably the favorite right now for National Player of the Year.
Take that word probably out of your lexicon. You don't need it.
Keith Hornsby, LSU loves seeing him healthy and back. Up 8 at the break, second half. There he is, Ben Simmons.
That's not going to get you Player of the Year, but it's going to get the Def Dome going.
And probably number 1 overall draft pick. But Buddy Hield sticks the 3. Remember, he nearly dropped 50 at Allen Fieldhouse. Down double digits in the second half. OU coming back. Down 2 inside of 2. Hield buries it.
Bam. That's your Player of the Year moment.
Lead by 3. Final minute of regulation alongside Andy Katz.
I'm jumping out of my seat because that's your Player of the Year moment. You want a moment?
Cool him off.
That's your moment.
I am Doug Kazarian. This is the Land Rover halftime report. So many layers to this game coming in. First and foremost, LSU really needs this game to get into the tournament and make something and show Ben Simmons to the national audience.
All right, a couple things. First of all, let's deal with LSU. You mentioned them. Okay, they have 4 key games remaining, including this one. They also play Texas A&M. They're at Kentucky. They're at South Carolina. They didn't do much in the non-conference. It had to be all in SEC and this game. Great opportunity for LSU. They lose this. It puts incredible pressure on the Kentucky, A&M, South Carolina games. As for Ben Simmons, he needed his moment to have it over Buddy Hield to take that pole position for Player of the Year. He didn't do it. It was all on Buddy Hield. He is number 1.
Yet, we'll see. Still
not number 1 in the draft. Number 1 for Player of the Year as of now.
Still final minute over on ESPN. It's a 1-possession game. Coming up next in that game, Kansas and Kentucky from the Fog. We'll have a preview of this one. Andy has a little anecdote about that one. That's next.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover. Above and beyond.
As we continue the Land Rover halftime report, it's a 3-point lead for Georgia over Baylor. Bob Wischusen alongside Paul Biancardi. And Paul, taking a look at some of the first half numbers, what jumps out to you, especially from the Georgia perspective? What has to continue in the second half for them to have a chance to pull off the upset?
It's the three-point shooting, Bob. 4 for 10 right now. They got to continue at that pace. How about 10 assists on 12 made field goals? Offensively, the Bulldogs are clicking.
Georgia, a surprising halftime lead. The second half coming up in just a moment. LSU, and that's a crushing loss for LSU. And now Baylor trying to do the same. Another three on the way. That one goes down. Freeman connects. 6 fast points for Baylor. And they're back on top. Well, Paul, you said you needed to see it in the first 5 minutes. We've already seen it in the first 45 seconds.
Well, they're making threes. They're getting good looks. Ish Wainwright, not a great three-point shooter. But Al Freeman is much improved. That gets the crowd into it, and it picks up the defensive intensity, Bob.
Crowd looking for a traveling call. None comes out. Here's Kessler, air ball.
So they showed us 2 made threes and a defensive stop.
Kessler to the bench for Mike Edwards as Mark Fox has a little skull session with Houston Kessler over on the sideline, as he did not have a great possession at the offensive end. I would have to think very important for Georgia early in the second half to get Yante Maten involved. Foul trouble kept him on the bench as Wainwright misses from the corner, but a foul call. That's going to go against Georgia. That will be J.J. Frazier going over the back.
Ish Wainwright wide open on the baseline. Not a great shooter, but he delivers. Now Freeman, one of the most improved players in the Big 12. A little drive and a little scoop pass. Wide open. Bob, Freeman can get hot. He's that type of player that, he's hungry to score.
Gathers to Prince, plus the foul. And if that's on J.J. Frazier, and it looks like it is, that is his third. So he picks up his second foul and his third foul, both in about 15 total seconds.
Well, that was just a simple low post feed, and Prince would roll the post against the zone, and he had Frazier on him. Frazier's looking for some help. You can see his hands. Defense was out of position.
A 20% increase in free throw percentage from last year to this year for Taurean Prince, to go along with all the muscle he's added. Now I have to think, as an NBA scout, he has shown you a work ethic that speaks well to what he brings to the next level.
And his game touches so many different categories. And he's a fit guy. He's going to have to, if he gets drafted in the first round, it's going to be by a team that is already very good. Somebody who's probably went deep into the playoffs, so he's going to have to fit into a roster. But he has that makeup. He's a self-made player.
Yante Maten made one with the left hand to make it a 4-point game. Prince shovels a pass back outside to Medford before he turned it over. Gathers down low. The reverse is good.
When you get the ball inside the Gathers, as I said before, he's either going to score if he catches it in the paint, or he's going to get fouled. Once in a while, he'll throw it out, but you can't stop him one-on-one.
James, no. Wainwright, the rebound.
Baylor has not got much in the conversion game.
Prince wanted to shoot a three, but couldn't gather the pass quickly enough to pull the trigger.
And Georgia's done a great job of converting back to their stingy defense. It's man-to-man, and it's packed in.
Freeman has another. The largest lead for Baylor. It's up to 46-37. Edwards is alone. Challenges Gathers. And Gathers is called for the foul.
Rico Gathers in the low block. As soon as he catches it, locates the defender. The step through, sweet off the glass. Al Freeman always plays like he's rolling downhill. This guy is on the attack. 2 threes in the second half for Baylor.
The Bears in the midst of a 14-2 run to start off the second half and extend to a 9-point lead.
Bob, Freeman's only shooting 32% from threes in the Big 12, but 40 overall. You can't leave him open for a look.
And Mike Edwards with a free throw that was so bad it was good. Hit the backboard first, created a long rebound and a fresh shot clock. And Edwards tried to slip one around Gathers. Wainwright finds Gathers. Comes up short, but draws the foul. Deontay Mayton called for his third. That's a bad luck foul for Mayton as he was going after the loose ball and came together with Gathers. So now what does Mark Fox do? Leave his big man in the game with 4 minutes into the second half.
This happened at LSU, and he left him in, and he picked up his quick fourth foul right after. But you know, this is almost the tale of two halves. Georgia in the first half was alert. They were active. They were in rhythm. They were quick to the glass. And in the second half, they haven't come out with the same intensity.
Gathers with a chance for a three-point play.
And Baylor has picked up the intensity. 39 points a game in the paint for the Bears. And that's a big, and I mean a big reason why. Rico Gathers. How about the girth, the wide face? He just carves out space.
We told you in the first half that there are scouts here. One in particular that's never been here before. The Buffalo Bills have a scout here looking at Rico Gathers. And according to the folks at Baylor, it's the first time they've ever issued a basketball credential to a football scout.
When you think about it, it makes sense, Bobby.
Sure.
He's got great hands. He's 6'6".
Looks like a foul on Wainwright away from the ball as he was jostling with Mayton. And Rico Gathers, he looks like one of those future NFL tight ends playing basketball in college. Freeman from the corner. Prince collides with one of the officials out of bounds, and he knocked it out as well. So it goes over to the Dogs.
Scott Drew just ran the same play, that baseline runner against the zone to get Freeman in the corner. He already has a 3 there earlier.
Man-to-man right now at the defensive end for Baylor. The only 2 power conference teams that play zone more often than Baylor are Syracuse and Cincinnati. So well over half the defensive possessions per game that Baylor plays, they go to that 1-3-1 zone. See when they go back to it. As Madden this time drives, and that's blocked inside. Motley stood his ground.
And Motley went straight up, hands and body.
Now Motley down low, scores.
Torian Prince looking for the big fella who made the block.
Timeout, Georgia. Jonathan Motley getting it done at the defensive end. It's funny how the ball finds you at the offensive end after you get the block.
Well, first of all, Motley goes straight up. His hands semi-straight. He's out of bounds right now. Then he gets to the post quick. Torian Prince finds it.
What is trending in the Big 12 SEC Challenge? How about the performance of Buddy Hield? 32 more for Hield as Oklahoma comes from behind, beats LSU. Hield outplays Ben Simmons. And that's a trend as well, isn't it, Paul? In college basketball, that the quote-unquote senior citizens. We always spend so much time talking about the one-and-dones. How about these guys that have spent their careers in college and are now poised for great NBA careers, many of them, you would think.
And they all have been patient, Bob. They understand the process. They're all self-made guys. They're helping their team win. And all those guys are part of ranked teams right now.
Right. And teams that could easily win the national championship. Mayton, no good, tapped around, and it ends up with Gathers. Who on that list surprises you the most about what they have made themselves as their college career has gone on?
I think Jared Utah for Iowa. I mean, he's always had ability, but at 6'9", with the versatility in the bounce, he's taken his game to another level. And Bryce Johnson always had the upside for North Carolina. We were waiting for his potential to turn into production. I'm not surprised at anything Denzel Valentine does at Michigan State.
Yeah, he checks every box.
He certainly does. And, you know, Buddy Hield has put himself in the conversation as a lottery pick.
Gaines can't hit. It's a 21-4 run to start the second half for Baylor. And Motley has been in the middle of all of it. This time he turns it over. On the first 5 field goals of the second half, for Baylor, they had assists on all of them. Actually, first 7 field goals, pardon me. 7 field goals to start the second half by 5 different players. There was a Baylor assist on all 7 of those field goals by 5 different players. This time, Mayton able to score.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams in the country. Assist on field goals. In the first half, they look a little lethargic defensively. They didn't make any shots from the outside. They didn't make any threes in the first half. Come out hot in the second half.
Now Scott Drew wants a timeout. They are #1 in America, averaging over 20 assists per game as a team. And we have an All Hoops Wednesday night on ESPN and ESPN2 with a twist. It's the announcer crossover. College announcers in the NBA, NBA announcers doing some college basketball. Jeff Van Gundy with Dickie V on Notre Dame, Miami, and Jay Billis joins Doug Collins for Warriors Wizards. Wednesday night, ESPN and ESPN2, the announcer crossover.
See, I think Jay Williams and Mark Jackson should play Doug Collins and Jay Billis 2-on-2. What do you think right there? Who do you got in that 2-on-2 competition? Who do you got? And who do you got on this one? I'll take Fran and Barry. Who you got?
I think you're right.
Jeff's
I take the
coach.
one NBA player out of the 3 guys, the other 3 guys. Baylor has matched their best start in Big 12 play. It's 6-2 in conference. And now a chance for a 3-point play. Nice post move by Jonathan Motley, operating around Mike Edwards. 3rd foul on Edwards.
Well, Edwards he gets hung up on the screen. Freshman doesn't get over it. Then he leaves his feet on the up and under. So you get caught on a screen, you leave your feet and you foul. 3 mistakes in 1 possession. That's why freshmen have such a huge learning curve from the high school game to the college game.
7 points in a row for Jonathan Motley, and in double figures for the 11th time this season. Maiden, yes. Believe it or not, Georgia had a 3-point lead at halftime.
And Maiden has a jump shot from 15 to 17. He's super efficient on the box, but he can face you up and knock it down. He's got a little more space out there as well. When you go inside against Baylor, the paint just gets covered up.
Prince off the mark from the baseline. Frazier lobs it in, and Maiden had position. Maybe that pass rushed a little bit by J.J. Frazier. It ends up out of bounds.
That was a weird angle. I mean, Frazier's on the right side of the floor. He's throwing it almost to the left corner of the backboard. Usually you try to throw it right in ball side, not across the court.
It has been a clean game. As you can see, only 8 total turnovers between the 2 teams combined. Prince to the line. When we return, Baylor has completely flipped the script on Georgia early here in the second half. in made free throws and #1 in Georgia history in free throw attempts. So he has spent the better part of 4 years going to the line for Mark Fox. Kenny Gaines set to check in next time out for Georgia as well. Sloppy pass and a turnover from Jake Lindsey. Only the 4th turnover of the game for Baylor.
And so now if you're Mark Fox, you have to rely on your 3 guards. Mann, Frazier, and Gaines. Spread them out. A simple ball screen continuity. Have the big fellow screen and roll and wait for the defense to break down.
Seven to shoot. Frazier, 5 on the shot clock. Looking for some room. Tough 3. Air ball. The rebound, and it's a shot clock violation. Before Kenny Paul Jr. could get the offensive rebound and put back up on the rim.
Pretty good defense by Jake Lindsey as well.
Al Freeman, Taurean Prince. And TJ Maston all going to the bench for Baylor. Gathers back on, as is Motley. Ish Wainwright back in the game as well. Lindsey sits down as King McClure returns. So it's basically a hockey shift change by Scott Drew.
Well, that's a big difference in this game is the depth. Baylor, 23 bench points already in this game.
Motley back outside. The extra pass from Medford. Back to Motley with 5 to shoot. He gets to the baseline. He used the arm to hook his way to the baseline. So that's the 2nd foul called on Jonathan Motley.
Motley got a little too excited. 12 feet away from the basket. You know, he had his man beat on the spin. And he extended that arm. And as soon as that happened, offensive foul.
And pardon me, that's his 3rd foul.
You know, talking to Scott Drew this morning, getting Georgia in foul trouble was the key. But, you know, Yante Maton, they didn't get him in foul trouble. He did it himself. The bench for the Bulldogs is not deep.
A 3 on the way from Frazier. It's good. J.J. Frazier. It's a triple. And the lead is back to single digits as we just move past the midway point of the 2nd half.
A little drive and kick action. You can't give Frazier any daylight.
Answering from the corner is King McClure.
Well, I watched him in high school, 22 in the lime green. King McClure, former ESPN 100, go 11 for 14 from threes in a game.
Gaines tries a 3. He's got it. Timeout called by Mark Fox as Kenny Gaines, who's 4th best in the SEC at 2.6 made threes per game, cuts the lead back down to 9 once again.
Well, this is what the Bulldogs did in the first half. Little drive by Mann, a little kick to Frazier. Medford was sleeping on the closeout. Now McClure coming back to King, the freshman. And Georgia answers right back. Ball screen, no hedge. If you give the Bulldogs open looks, they're not only going to take them, they're going to make them.
It's our NBA Sunday Showcase game on ABC, presented by BBVA. An East-West matchup. Jimmy Buckets and the Bulls taking on Chris Paul and the Clippers at 3:30 Eastern. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 3. The game streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Georgia's going to sit in that zone. Try to keep Maton out of foul trouble.
Medford tied up on the drive, but they will call this a foul on the floor on Gaines. That's his 2nd. And now Georgia over the limit. That is their 7th team foul. So with over 9 minutes to go in the second half and down by 9. Did his free throws the rest of the way for a Baylor team that's third best in the Big 12 poll. As a team, they average 73% at the line, although Medford only shoots 66%.
But now you get to set your defense, Bob, if you want to go to that 1-3-1 matchup. Man, you can trap a little bit. Scott Drew has not really trapped Georgia yet. You may want to think about trapping those guards off the ball screen to take away that shot.
1 of 2 at the line for Medford, the only player in the country in the top 30 in assists, steals, and assist to turnover ratio. The lead back at 10 even. A foul called, I think, on Medford, as he was holding J.J. Frazier. That's his second. Still one more foul for Baylor to give.
And Georgia's doing a good job of using the clock. Little ball control offense. Bad post feed, though.
Gathers the steal off the bad pass from Frazier. Medford is blocked at the other end by Yante Maten. Playing with 4 fouls, still able to protect the rim. Man makes his way inside. He turns it over.
Baylor should go right inside.
Instead, it's outside. Prince, air ball from 3. Gathers, saves it. Numbers for Georgia.
Bears should go right to Gathers.
Right down the lane. His finger roll won't go. Missed it point blank range, and then Georgia commits the foul. And it looks like it's on Kenny Gaines. That's his third. That is a killer for the Bulldogs. A 5-on-3, and it's a finger roll right down the lane. That's missed by Gaines.
That's hard to explain how you missed that shot. Just spin it too much. When you get to the rim, you want to lay that in off the backboard. That's the simplest, easiest thing to do. When you start putting that English spin on it, that's exactly what can happen. Goes in, comes out.
And to make matters worse, Gaines then immediately gives the foul to Taurean Prince, who's the 7th best free throw shooter in the Big 12.
Bob, if I'm Scott Drew, I'm going right inside to Gathers. He's got Yante Maten on him with 4 fouls. Why would I want to take a jump shot? I just got to post feed it into him. They run a little screen-to-screener action, get Gathers the ball in the box, and let him go to work. Little flex stuck into a ball screen.
Prince stands his ground on the drive by Man. Now Man crosses him over. And a foul will be called on Taurean Prince on the reach-in. Will step aside. That's the second on Prince. But a 12-point lead for Baylor.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sonic. 2 can eat for $9.99 at Sonic all month long. And Cintas, getting you ready for the workday.
he can also impact the game in other ways. Rebounding, assists, steals. He's turning into a lockdown defender. And he has some measurables at 6'8". He's got a 6'11" wingspan. That NBA sprint test, Bob. 3 seconds, three-quarter court. That's pretty fast at his size. And he's going to go to a team that's already winning, so he's going to have to bring that culture, that great attitude to a team. He's a self-made player, and you like him because he keeps improving.
Well, Taurean Prince originally signed a letter of intent to play back in 2012 at LIU Brooklyn. Hard to believe that he is now a dominant player in a power conference as Yante Maten knocks down the jumper to make it a 10-point game.
Nice call by Mark Fox. Baylor's been hedging on that screen, so Maten got the wide open jumper.
Maten forced to play with 4 fouls with his team down by 10. And they go to Gathers, guarded by Maten, goes right around Maten, up on the rim, no good. Maten the rebound, and Gathers is furious. Man the other way, crosses over, foul called. They'll call it a charge. Man tried to avoid the contact by crossing over, but is called for a second foul.
Well, he tried that Euro step, a side step, but it didn't work. There's man in the open floor. Pretty good defense right there by Jake Lindsey. But that last possession for Baylor, they went right inside to Gathers. There was that cross screen, down screen. And once Gathers catches the basketball, you can see Maten just back up and, basically play surrender defense.
So no free throws because of the offensive foul, but that is team foul number 9 on Georgia. So it's the double bonus the rest of the way for Baylor. Lindsey gives it up. Prince skips one to the corner to Lindsey. 5 to shoot. Straight away, Freeman for 3. Yes.
That's driving kick at its best.
Gaines has it poked away with 5 on the shot clock. Man looks up, and he'll have to force one up. On the run, blocked. Shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
You can see every time that Baylor scores, Bob, it just energizes their defense. They didn't score well in the first half. They didn't make any threes, and it seemed like it affected their defensive intensity and their defensive activity. Second half, they come out, they make threes. They've made more consecutive stops in the second half. Big reason for the lead.
Baylor made 1 3 in the first half. They have made 5 threes in the second half. Prince, offensive foul. Ducked his shoulder into Kenny Paul Gino and gets called for his 3rd.
And he was so excited on the box, he knew he had the advantage. I like to see Prince catch that, maybe just face up his man, and then go to work. Doesn't have to back his way in all the time.
Gaines finds Edwards, and he'll go to the line.
That's been the best offense for Georgia all night. The pick and roll game.
4th foul on Taurean Prince. Now the good news for Georgia, they pick up the 4th foul on Prince, and they get free throws out of it. The bad news, it's Mike Edwards at the line, shooting 32%. See if the announcer jinx works. Couldn't straighten him out. tonight after X Games Aspen. Stick around for SportsCenter at night with Bucci and Steve Levy. We'll have highlights from the NBA, college hoops, wrap up the day from Aspen with a preview of the Australian Open Men's Championship. Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray. SportsCenter at night tonight after X Games Aspen right here on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. And Mike Edwards, true to his percentage, misses both. He is 1 for 6 at the line, but a turnover as Freeman fumbles one out of bounds. That'll bring Derek Albede back in the game. He will replace Mike Edwards.
And George is just hanging around in this game. They'll have another run in them. And Baylor looked like they were just going to blow them out here in the second half with the threes and the defense. But the pick and roll offensive game has served them well.
Another three for J.J. Frazier. That is his 4th made three tonight.
And another ball screen. Maybe Baylor's got to trap that screen now.
And Scott Drew immediately says to Lester Medford, you're going back in to guard J.J. Frazier as Baylor calls a timeout.
Well, if you're covering the ball handler right here, you have to get over that screen. Go ahead, let it run. And Freeman, he just lays on it. There's no help there by Gathers. So Frazier knocks it down. No hedge. Freeman lays on the screen. The Bears got to tighten that up.
Well, Frazier averages 2.5 threes per game. He's 8th best in the SEC. Kenny Gaines averages 2.6 made threes per game, 4th best in the SEC. So you've got 2 guys that can shoot this team back into the game if you can get them looks like J.J. Frazier just got.
The Baylor's got to get over the screen and just chase him off the line, chase him right into Rico Gathers. But Gathers has to recognize his man got hung up on that screen. He's got to jump out.
Jonathan Motley, the jump hook, rolls off the rim, tapped around, ends up with J.J. Frazier.
Great team defense by the Bulldogs. Hold their ground, get the glass.
Frazier floats one to Maton. A blocking foul is called. That'll put Maton at the line. As Yante Maton is that close to fouling out. Now it's 4 fouls on Jonathan Motley.
On this pick and roll action, Yante Maton, he has to catch it and come down and jump stop. He does, but he leans forward a little bit, Bob. I'd like to see him catch it, gather, and just go straight up. I know the momentum carries you to the basket, but that could have been an offensive foul, and he'd be gone.
Well, Yante Maton, if nothing else, a tough guy. Last year as a freshman, he missed 1 game his freshman season. Why? He had a concussion. He was hit by a car on January 11th and missed the game a couple of nights later. Now, I would venture to say that most guys that get hit by a car in a pedestrian crosswalk would miss more than 1 game.
I bet you that car got a dent. I mean, this
think the car ended up taking the worst of the collision?
Might have went to the auto body.
Yante Maton with 4 fouls back on the bench as, again, Mark Fox trying to massage him through the rest of this game, keeping him on the floor when he can, but protecting him at the defensive end. Medford for 3. That's a big shot for Baylor. That stabilizes the game a bit, makes it a double-digit lead again, and that is a backbreaker for the Gophers.
One of their favorite plays, the Baylor Bears, the screener action. They look for Gathers in the box, or Medford up top.
Mann crosses over. Medford called for the block. And when we return, Charles Mann will shoot free throws. That's the 3rd on Lester Medford.
They wanted to go to Gathers on Maton.
They do go to Gathers on Maton. 5 to shoot. Gathers with an up fake. Maton stands his ground. Gathers, though, is able to grab the offensive rebound, as he often does, and stick it back up and in.
That was great defense on the first attempt, but then you got to block the big fella out.
Gathers fouls Frazier on the drive at the other end, so J.J. Frazier will go back to the line.
Now watch the defense by Yante Maton. Holds his ground straight up. Gathers struggles, scoring over a little length. But a quick jumper at 6'6", 275. Ooh, volleyball tap.
Well, he is tied with Tyler Roberson of Syracuse for most offensive rebounds per game among major conference players. Frazier's had a terrific day. A career high in assists, but now a crucial missed free throw.
Mark Fox has led this team to back-to-back 20-win seasons.
$18 points and 9 assists for J.J. Frazier.
Baylor's going to continue to try to pound it inside. It's going to be Gathers or Prince. That's where their advantage lies.
Gathers at Maton. Lost it, found it again, puts it down low. 5 to shoot, flips a wild one right over the top of the backboard. And Gathers was looking for a foul call, and the officials basically tell him to zip it.
Well, he was looking for a bailout. I'll tell you what, though, sometimes his best shot is a miss because he goes and gets it real quick. You know, rebounding is such a single-focused job. Just go get the ball, and Gathers was at the best in the Big 12.
Scott Drew thought that Frazier walked. Man drives it. Blocked by Gathers, but a foul call. That's the 4th on Rico Gathers.
Man sees the open gap. This time they're in zone, Baylor. It's a huge gap and a lot of moxie by Man to take it into Gathers. That's like hitting a brick wall.
That was the 9th team foul as well on Baylor, so both teams shoot the double bonus the rest of the way. And it's a 13-point game for Charles Mann, and of course 6 of his 13 at the line. So now Gathers goes to the bench with 4, Prince on the floor with 4. If Georgia could ever get this game to overtime, in spite of the fact that Yante Maton has been playing with 4, they've actually gotten Baylor into worse free throw or worse foul trouble than they're in.
They are, but they don't have the depth. They need to hit one at the buzzer and go home. They don't have the depth to go into overtime with anybody, let alone Baylor at home. But they are scratching and clawing, hanging around.
That's what they did against LSU in their last game, narrowly missing a chance to tie it. Wainwright can't hit. Offensive rebound, Motley. Stripped away. Caroms around. Out of bounds off the Dogs. On Tuesday night, Georgia lost to LSU 89-85. But with 50 seconds to go in the game, Georgia was down 11. They pulled within 2, and with 13 seconds to go, had a look and a chance to tie and missed the shot.
You know, they made some threes, and LSU was careless with the basketball. That game easily could have went the other way. Almost a turnover by Baylor right there. Big possession for the Bulldogs right now to get this stop.
Freeman leans in. No good. Great block out. Frazier the other way. Sets up Gaines in transition. Gaines hits a 3. Mark Fox calls the final timeout for Georgia. The lead down to 6 with a lot of time still on the clock.
Timeout, Georgia.
Talked about how important it was. Bulldogs were down 9. They could have went down 11. This time they get the stop. Great push. Frazier with the kick out. Instead of a possible double-digit deficit, now down to 6. with $1:30 left.
The Bulldogs have made 8 of their last 9 from the field. Again, they almost pulled off the comeback against LSU on Tuesday. Could they possibly pull off a comeback on the road against Baylor in a Big 12 SEC Challenge game that it seemed like Paul Baylor took over in the second half? They came out 21-4 run to start off the second half and had this game in control, but Georgia's clawed their way back in.
And Baylor come out with some great energy. Defensively, they made some early threes, but I'll tell you what, Georgia can be down double-digit points. It doesn't faze them. 2 senior guards and Manny Gaines. Then you got Frazier as a junior. This team does not get rattled, Bob, on the road. They just don't have enough depth right now.
Now, Georgia only has 1 win, as you could see, against the BPI top 50. That's against Georgia Tech, but they also are the only Division I team to have played a schedule this season where only 1 of their 18 opponents is outside the top 200 in the RPI.
Yeah,
so they've played a lot of quality teams.
Yeah, their schedule's been outstanding, and you know, they're a solid team. They just have to get over the hump. They need one of these type of wins to see the results of their hard work.
Al Freeman fouled by Kenny Gaines. And that is a foul that hurts the Dogs. The 4th on Gaines, but a touch foul with the clock having gone down to 12 to shoot.
With all the activity in this game, and the referees have done a really good job. That was such an incidental bump, if anything. You're just giving Baylor 2 points right here on an opportunity for 2.
Al Freeman shoots 84% at the line.
You know, this happened to Mark Fox at LSU. Tiger shot 55 free throws.
Freeman becomes the 3rd bear in double figures, joining Gathers and Prince. He's got 11.
Great job of extending on the shooters by Baylor.
Gaines from the corner. No good for 3. Prince has the rebound, under a minute to go.
A great defensive possession by Baylor. Extending on the shooters, challenging shots. Rico Gathers got all the way out to the corner on that one.
Now, a smart foul by J.J. Frazier. Simply because it's Lester Medford that he fouled. That's the 4th on Frazier. You wouldn't necessarily think he'd be fouling that quickly. Maybe he'd go for a backcourt steal. But of all the players on the floor for Baylor, he fouled the worst free throw shooter at 66%. Of course, Medford steps up. Looks like Reggie Miller on his first.
Well, you know, he's a crunch time performer. Hit the game-winning shot against Vanderbilt and Texas Tech.
Only 1 of 2. Frazier wants to shoot a 3 and does. Wainwright lost the rebound out of bounds. So it stays with Georgia. 46 seconds to go. This is right where they were on Tuesday night against LSU and fought it all the way back to the point that they had a chance to tie. Madden gives it up. Maiden throws it down.
And Baylor didn't even react. It was almost like they didn't know the ball was in bounds.
And I'm not sure why the officials stopped play. Neither team called a timeout. They're going to allow a substitution as Turtle Jackson comes in. Frazier goes to the bench. In the game as well as Kenny Paul-Gino, as they need players on the floor that can give a foul.
And if you're Georgia right now, 7 points, 40 seconds. Bob, I think you got to go for a quick steal, but man-to-man, you can't trap. If you trap and Baylor throws out, you don't catch up to the ball, you're going to lose a lot of precious time.
Well, both teams getting a free timeout, and maybe it's a clock issue. I don't know if they need to go to the monitor to make sure that the clock was correct. And now they may have a substitution question about whether or not Turtle Jackson should be allowed to substitute on a whistle where it seemed like the officials stopped play on their own. And it looks like they're going to disallow the substitution as J.J. Frazier is going to have to go back in the game.
Fox a lot. He can get his team organized.
Sure, Georgia didn't have a timeout.
Yeah, get your matchups. And like I said, I don't think you need to trap here. Because if Baylor throws out of the trap, you're going to lose time. You got to go for the steal, a foul right away.
Mann gives the foul, and that's only his third.
Time is your enemy right now.
And again, they foul Lester Medford.
And I think that's the only choice right now for Mark Fox. Play the foul game right away. Extend the game. Hope for some misses. Come down, hope for some shots.
Now the problem is he has no timeouts to get substitutions called. He wants to leave his good offensive players on the floor after the free throws, but his three best offensive players on the floor all have 4 fouls. If Gaines, Frazier, or Maton is the next Bulldog to give a foul, they're done.
If they don't stop the clock, they're done. And I know what you mean.
They might be done anyway. Down by 9 with 36 seconds to go.
Let's see if they can get a quick one and have
terrible foul by Al Freeman.
Scott Drew got his hands folded on the sideline. And he is upset about that one, and he is looking upstairs for an answer.
Rather than forcing J.J. Frazier to take what you would think would be a very low percentage deep jumper, he goes to the line, an 83% free throw shooter. And he shoots the double bonus. And misses the first.
Well, if it's a miss right here, Edwards or Gino have to foul on the miss, obviously. But if it goes in, set your defense. Mark Fox had a chance to substitute right there. Offense, defense.
Gets the second, the lead at 8. Frazier out as Turtle Jackson comes back in. So now they have players on the floor that can give the foul.
They'll give it and get those guys right back in the game. Smart coaching by Mark Fox.
Freeman fouled by Jackson. So here come Gaines and Frazier right back in.
Jackson foul is first. Al Freeman in the line with 2. Shots for your Bears.
No, Scott Drew did not yell at Al Freeman when he committed that foolish foul. A few minutes ago, he walked down the end of the bench, arms folded, eyes kind of rolling upstairs. That's a coach's role. And by not yelling at him at that moment, now Freeman goes to the line. You know, I think that's great coaching. Sometimes less said, the better.
1 of 2 at the line for Freeman. Maton runs the floor, gets to the front of the rim, throws it down off the feet from Frazier. The lead down to 7 with 23.8 seconds to go. Now, how important is this game to both teams? Well, Joe Lunardi right now in the Big 12 has Baylor in the tournament as a 6th seed. So in spite of the fact that they are ranked in the AP poll in the top 20, Joe Lunardi does not believe that the resume they put together at this point warrants anything more than a 6. Of course, Georgia, they are on the outside looking in.
They are. I mean, they got to put a streak together of some wins. And, you know, the SEC is a balanced league. We see right there 5 teams that Joe has in. So there's opportunities to play your way in. Conference tournament, long way to go for the Bulldogs. Long season.
Free throws this time for Freeman, who has all 14 of his points in the second half. As Frazier is able to convert, Georgia sets up the press. Medford just about has it stolen. Dangerous pass. Gaines was there, and now he fouls out. Gaines almost got the steal. Tied up Taurean Prince, called for the foul. Kenny Gaines is done. And with 13 seconds to go, the Bulldogs are done as well. But the press almost created the exact opportunity that Georgia was looking for. That was a bad decision by Medford, but Gaines couldn't come up with the intercept.
You know, I know teams have a lead, they don't want to foul, but I never understand why teams just allow a guy go right to the basket and score. You can still play defense and not foul. I mean, Georgia got a layup in about 3 seconds, and as you just mentioned, Bob, almost got the steal.
So Prince pads his totals up to 12 points. And when Baylor wins this game, it will be 5-3 Big 12 in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. As you would expect, Paul, you said that, as most through this point in the season probably believe, the Big 12 is the best conference overall in college basketball. Gathers fouled by Edwards. A couple of more free throws at the other end.
Baylor right now with a nice win, but they have Texas coming in on Monday night for Big Monday. And the Longhorns won today. They beat Vanderbilt. And Kerwin Roach, the freshman, had his first career double-double. Prince Ibeh playing his best basketball of the year. He had 11 career rebounds today. And Shaka Smart has that team playing hard. They've won 5 out of 6. He's got them playing hard, but they're playing together. You know, Cam Ridley went down. That was a huge loss. And I think the Longhorns are really a dangerous team in this Big 12 race.
And now it's a collective curtain call for all the starters for Baylor. And Gathers will get one as well if he can knock down this free throw. Gathers now gets a curtain call.
Well, the Bears just beat up the Bulldogs in the paint. Second half, they come out and made some threes. Good team win by the Bears.
17 points and 9 rebounds for Gathers. Man knifes to the basket, and that will do it here at the Farrell Center. 83-73 is your final. Baylor takes out Georgia. For Paul Biancardi, I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Waco.